a lot of defense work against the common attacks from the close guard. So we started with just defending ourselves against the basic submissions. So what are the most likely submissions you're going to see, how to defend against them. What are the most likely sweeps you're going to see, how to defend against them. And in general, having good defense against the most common attacks against the close guard is very helpful to fight the close guard, because for most attacks, he has to open the close guard, okay? There's a couple, like the flower sweep, where he can keep his guard closed, but like if he wants to armbar me, yeah, he has to open the guard. And if I'm able to defend the armbar really well, I'm able to pass his close guard, okay? So that's what we've been doing a lot of. We're going to do one more sort of sweep defense today, and then we're going to start going under the assumption that our opponent is really good and does his best to keep his close guard closed, so that we have the most work to get out of the close guard, okay? So up until now, everything has been sort of passing the close guard. When your opponent attacks, you're able to counter his attack, and you can use that to pass the close guard. Today we're going to get to opening his close guard, and what I think is the safest and most effective way to do that, okay? So one more sort of sweep defense today though, starting from the idea that we're getting our height. I walk forward, we've done one defense for the idiot sweep already, where he grabs my feet and comes down, so yeah. So coming here, we've done this one where I pinch the knees, take the feet up, and start passing like that. Now we're going to assume I was able to catch him a bit earlier, so that's sort of the late phase escape for the idiot sweep. We're going to do an early phase escape now. So same idea, I'm just going to stand up. So he's passed, we get here, and the minute he grabs my feet and his hips drop, I know what he's going to do, okay? I don't have to sit there and go, oh, what's he got planned? He's going to do the idiot sweep, okay? There's nothing that needs to be questioned. So, and it's best for me if I can stay on top. So the way the idiot sweep works by bringing me in this position, okay? So let's scoot over so I can make sure everything's in camera. So the one way to counter the idiot sweep before it even becomes an idiot sweep is if I bring my hips forward. Try to idiot sweep now. Yeah, I messed that up. Okay. One more time. So if I bring my hips forward, yeah. Now I can start balancing and I can start stacking. And more importantly, when I do that, I don't want to just keep like this, but I want to come here and look to one side. Yeah.
Now it's gone.
Yeah, now it's gone. Okay? And from here, I take a leg, and this is a concept we're going to start working with more often. These are what I call pit stop positions, okay? If I come in here, you don't want that. Yeah. This position is called a staple mount, okay? What I've got is my one leg pins his leg to the ground. My arm on the same leg has knee and elbow connection, and I've got my chest on his upper leg, okay? Try to move around a bit. Yeah. This is a really good position for me, okay? When you get here, this is where you start taking your time, okay? And honestly, the more he struggles, the better it is for me, because I can hold this position with relatively little energy. If he wants to get out of this position, he's going to have to do a lot of work. He's got my entire weight on just his legs. This is not a good position for him, meaning in order to escape, he needs a lot of energy, okay? He needs to do a lot of work, and that's going to get him tired. And the best thing I can have is my opponent tired, and I'm feeling rested, okay? So this is my pit stop position, my number one. Once I get here, this is where I slow my game down, and I just start very calmly building into my pass. I want to get my optimal position, and then I get into my pass. I am not in a hurry to give up this position. Once I'm here, this is where I want to stay for a bit, okay? So, going back, so I've stood up, He's trying to idiot sweep me. I haven't started yet. Okay, so hips forward and start turning. You come into the staple mount. Okay? And from here, take your time. Get nice and close. Yeah. How's this feel?
Not so great.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, just take your time. Let him struggle. This is hard for him to get out of. And when you feel like passing, you pass. Okay? So, but really important first is the hips forward. Okay? So, when you're doing the idiot sweep, give your opponent time to work on the timing, because it does basically, my side, I need to be very aware of what's going to happen. I come up here, and this is where I come forward. Okay? The minute I see those hands go for my legs, that's where I come forward and turn. And then I can slide into everything. Okay? So, early phase idiot sweep escape. I do have better luck with this one than the gi, to be quite frank. Normally it's the late phase, but it's also a good escape, but it's good to know this one. Okay? Any questions? Okay, let's give this a try, and then. Okay, so like I said, we've had submission defenses where he's opening the guard and we use that to pass. We've had sweep defenses where he opens his guard and we use that to pass. Now we're going to go under the assumption our opponent never wants to open this guard, and we have to break his guard now, okay? So we, again, what we've been practicing the whole time, pin those arms, come up, and we start to break the guard. So the first thing I want to do is when I stand up, I want to have, no, keep your guard closed. That's what we're working on right now. Okay, I stand up. Okay, maybe with Chris because he's a bit taller. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I come here, stand up. The first thing I want to do is get one knee in his butt. Yeah, this is already not pleasant. And I want the other knee away. Okay? This is going to keep him from doing a couple of sweeps after I open. And this is already not pleasant for him. This is really hard to keep closed, isn't it? Yeah. And now just one leg and open. Knee on elbow. And I want to staple that leg to the ground again. I go for a scoop grip on the other leg. And I just want to lean into him here. And now we have a split staple mount. This is similar to the staple mount that we had before. This is also something I can use to go into the staple pass. This is not a pleasant position for you, is it?
More or less.
Yes, yeah. Again, and again, try to buck me off. Yeah, and we're getting into the same situation. He has two directions he can move. He can try framing on my face and moving this way, which this gives me a backstep pass. Or, what he tried to do a second ago is he can try shoving me, like this. And now I can just come over here. I regain the staple mount. And then I start going into my pass from here. Okay? So, this is sort of similar to the, Craig Jones has talked about this in his Power Ride series. So, this is basically leg riding. What I'm doing is I'm pinning his legs, taking them out of position, and putting myself in a very, very easy position to defend. And I just kind of let him try to do stuff. It's a hard position for him to defend in, and everything he does makes him tighter. And that's the best thing for me again. Okay? So, opening close guard again. So, we come here, and again, forward. I want my knees, this is why I like to do many small steps, because I don't actually want my feet here, okay? What I want is my feet on his knees, or my knees on his butt, come up, and I want to go back with one of my feet. So they have this staggered stance. This is for me the perfect position to open the close guard. Break open and go into my staple pass. Okay? And from here, depending on how he moves, I can cross face, back step. When I back step, I keep my foot on that leg, and then come into the side control. Or, with this arm, I pressure in, let the arm slide past, or let the leg slide past, and go into a staple mount. And then I do the exact same thing I did with the last one. Come up, gain my underhooks, pass, and if I want, I can go straight into the mount from here. Okay? So, clear what I want? Okay, let's start with that. Okay, so we've got one nice reliable way to open the guard. I'm going to do one more, and then we'll start with some sparring. So, next way to open the guard. Again, we're going to be standing up to open the guard all the time. Two reasons. One, it is the most effective, simply put, because then his close guard has to not only resist my muscles, but his own weight. That's just more work for him. And two, it's the safest. Okay, if I try to open the guard here when I'm kneeling, now he can start going for arm bars, sweeps, arm drags to the back take. This is a dangerous position for me. Okay, he has a lot of options he can do from here. If I'm standing up, he only, that's the only thing he really has, is he can break me back down to the kneeling, in which case I just stand up, or he goes to the idiot stool. Yeah. And if he's really good, he can try a leg lock, but that's actually kind of difficult from here. We're going to go into some things like that later. But yeah, now you can like go into K guard and everything, but it's a big action and it's really easy. I think closed guard, not to say K guard isn't good. You can definitely use K guard. I just think going from closed guard to K guard is a bit risky because it's a lot of motion. It takes a lot of time. By the time, and your feet are there for me to start stacking you. I just don't think it's a good option from the closed guard, specifically. Okay, so that's why when we're opening closed guard, we want to do it in the standing position. It's just his options are a lot lower. He does not have as many options as he would if we're in this position, okay? So, going back, same idea. I stand up. Come here, and we're going to do now a different opening of the guard. Yeah, this is also not going to be pleasant, sorry. So, I keep my knees this time on his butt, and I just kind of sit back. Yeah, like that. It's called a chair sit. Okay, so it's like I'm sitting in a chair. And just sitting down doesn't open his guard, which you can attest is already very unpleasant. I can bring my elbows in and spread out, and that's going to open the guard. And I like this because I'm in a perfect position to go into a double under pass. And this is, again, I like this pass because now I have a pit stop position again, okay? Try to get out. Okay? So his attempt to get out of my pit stop position, this is going to help me actually pass. I can either stack him, or he can start playing with his legs, and I can just toss his legs to the side. That actually, my last tournament, when I was fighting in the GFC last weekend, that's exactly what happened. He kept trying, I would get him in the double under position, he kept trying to push me away, and I just toss his leg, I passed him like 3 times. So, yeah, ending score was like 11-0. It was just, by the time I got the 3rd pass, he was just lying on the ground completely tired because he couldn't do anything. Perfect position for me. Okay, so, again, chair sit. This is why it's so important to take those little steps when we stand up instead of the big steps, okay? So I come here, and just little steps, and now my knees are already on the butt, and I can start sitting back. If he's not opening now, I bring my elbows in. Now the guard is open, and my hands are already in the position for my double under, okay? Now, if he doesn't do anything and he just stays here, what we want to do when we go to the double under is we want to take our time, we have a stable position now. This is the best position I can have. And I want to come up, and I really want his knees in his face. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to hear him do that. Okay? So then I take this arm, or any of the arms, and I come over to the other side. And I can come into my side control. Okay?
Is it important where I grab him on the other side?
Huh?
Shoulder or hip?
You want to go like midsection to the hips.
Okay.
It's any pass like this, because in order to reclaim guard, he needs to be able to move his hips. So that's the part of his body I want to have control of. Controlling his head, it helps, but it's more important to control his hips.
Can you sit one time?
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is probably going to be a good example of just the chair sit opening, because Jan has small legs and he's a little shorter than I am. So you're probably going to have a hard time keeping the bar closed. Okay. Fully. Okay. Here, hands go in and double under. And here I'm in my wonderful double under position. So from here, start stacking. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not sprawled, okay? My knees are my chest is on his butt, my knees, yeah. My hands are here, and my knees are on his body, okay? I'm pinching him like this, and I come here, and I get in my side control. Okay, so when I'm stacking him, I don't want to be like this. Okay, 'cause now I don't have really, no, you can bring your hips back down. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I want my knees, one second. I want my knees pinching it in, locking them in place. Now try to bring your hips down. Yeah, yeah, I want this. Okay? Clear what I want to see? Okay, let's do some double under passes from the close guard, and then we're going to go to some